Hello, hello, hello. My name is Stacy. Welcome to my channel, Simply Liminal. Welcome to my reading for the Litha season, or Litha, depending on how you've been taught to pronounce it. This is the celebration in the Wheel of the Year for the summer solstice. Here in the Northern Hemisphere where I'm at, today marks the peak heat, energy, light, strength of the sun. Though the solstice really isn't one moment, it's several days. Solstice is short for sol sisteri. Sol is sun, sisteri is stand still. And basically, if you monitor the sunset and sunrise from today, you'll notice that 4 or 5 days, the length of the day stays absolutely the same. And after that period, then it starts to decrease. But right now we are at the peak of it. I was lucky enough to catch a beautiful sunrise this morning. I didn't mean to be up for the sunrise. It just happened. But you know, sometimes those things happen for a reason. And so I was grateful for it. I'm hoping to see a beautiful sunset tonight as well, to mark a beautiful solstice day. But it is cloudy here. We are in the midst of thunderstorm season, and it is humid and cloudy and blustery and predicting more rain for us. But we'll see what the day has in store for us. It is very dry here in eastern Montana where I am at, and we could use the moisture. Rain preferably. Hail can stay away. Anyways, I hope you're all having a nice solstice day so far. I am making solstice water. I don't know if that's something that you do. It's something that I've done for years. Everybody is different about how they make their water. Some people will make it from sunrise to sunset on solstice day. I've always tended to do it for about 48 hours. I'll set it out about 24 hours before the solstice point, which is around 9 o'clock tonight, and leave it out until tomorrow, 24 hours after that point. And I leave it out day and night because the night is just as important during the solstice as the day. Even though we celebrate the sun, the night is vastly important to us. So it's a good time to remember the abundance of the sun, but also appreciate the coolness, the rest, the period of darkness that allows us to calm our minds, calm our spirits. And sometimes that's when great intuition happens for us. So as for everything that I've been doing with the Wheel of the Year this year, I'm working with the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Lynn. Last year I worked with another one of her decks. It was the Sacred Forest, which is gorgeous. But this year I was called to work with this, and so I will work with this deck for these Wheel of the Year readings through December, when it is Yule, which I understand right now in the Southern Hemisphere, that is what you are celebrating, the shortest day of the year and the Yule season. But here in the Northern Hemisphere, it is the longest day of the year and a whole different kind of energy. And so we are going to work with this deck. It's a beautiful deck. I actually have a different candle than I normally have. I decided I was grabbing one of my 3-wick candles because it is the height of light in the season. And 3 is also a very lucky and important number. And so 3 wicks here. It was interesting when I had it moved over here, just with the reflection, it's starting to get pretty melty, but it really looks like an eye. Look at this one right here. Before it was a different one, but it's almost like your third eye is looking at you. So I'm just going to get this a little bit out of the way, though I can't get it out of the way completely. And we will go ahead and take a look at what our reading is for this year. Now, for these readings this year, I'm doing that a little different than I did last year. I am using 5 cards, and I am calling in messages for the collective from the elements. The elements of earth, water, air, fire, and lastly, spirit. And I will read intuitively from these cards, but I also will read a bit from the guidebook, because what Denise channels through in her books is quite fabulous. She is very insightful and very intuitive. And, you know, people are different about how they shuffle decks. I pre-shuffled this deck, and a card just kind of flew out, and I glanced at it, and we'll see if it shows up in the reading today or not. maybe it was just a message for me. This is a message definitely for the collective. Sometimes I'll split the deck at multiple ways. I have decided today I just am called to shuffle and then take the cards that show up. So we have our message here from Earth, have our message from Water, have our message from Air, message from Fire, and then our message from Spirit. Now, one thing I didn't mention, and maybe people know or don't know depending on how you follow astrology or look at readings, but this period of the summer solstice marks where we move from the Gemini season into the Cancer season. And so technically that is later today. So right now we are still in that air energy, but we'll be moving into Cancer, very watery energy. So, and this marks the beginning of a new season. We went through, the spring equinox marks Aries season. That's where it starts. Everything starts with a bang. And then we move through, that is fire. Then we move into Earth with Taurus. Then we are in air with Gemini. And now we are starting a water season in the Cancer sign. So for all of you out there, I'm at Leo sun and moon, and then Virgo rising. And so I feel very called to this season. This feels like it's my season, though I was born in the northern hemisphere and I love me some winter. So don't get me wrong on the seasons. I love all the seasons. I appreciate them all. So let's take a look at our message from the element of Earth for us. We have freedom. Well, that's beautiful. Look at that. Looks like a swallow, many swallows. When I think of swallows, I think of the stories of them returning to Capistrano Monastery in California. But I also think of barn swallows around here, which will dive bomb you like crazy going into any outbuilding or carport area. But this message is freedom. And so I love that we're getting this message from Earth, because the Earth is going through quite a bit of change right now, and not just the planet, but everything that's living on the planet, including us. So we are going through change, and I think we are breaking out of cycles from the past, breaking away from old ideas, old energy, and we are moving into a season of freedom. So embrace this feeling of freedom. Summer also feels like that, doesn't it? It's just like when you want to kick off the top of your convertible, if you have one, go camping, get away from technology a little bit and just be free, kind of actually be a little bit of a gypsy, like how I think of Sagittarius in the zodiac. So the message here says, express yourself without hesitation, break free and let your spirit fly. Make choices that increase your freedom. Don't be tied down. Laugh, dance, explore, and go beyond your predictable behavior. Be daring and cast aside restrictions. Find your wings, and as you do, you'll help others find theirs. So that's a beautiful message. And I think we really all need to embrace that. If you're here watching this reading, or if you're watching other readings like this, you are very tied to spiritual energy, and you are tied to either just awakening or being a leader helping other people waken up. So embrace your freedom and help other people embrace their freedom as well. So that was our message from Earth. Now let's take a look at our message from Water. And remember, we are moving into Cancer season, so this is going to feel watery, emotional. Cancer season is not one of my favorite seasons, and I've had a challenging year in my family with my mom's health. She had a stroke last July, and it's been a lot of challenges, and now working on healing. And I feel like I have cried more in the last year than I've ever cried in my whole entire life. But maybe that's the release I need. I'm just trying to let my emotions be what they are and move through them and hope they're helping me heal and helping the others around me heal. But so if you're feeling watery, tearful, extra sensitive, it's probably that Cancer energy. And whether that plays in your chart at all, it affects us all when we're in Cancer season. So our message from Water is the truth. And this is interesting. Of course, this picture is showing us plains, kind of grasslandy, with a lone tree and some clouds. But the message is the truth. And it's interesting because water is an element that always, I don't want to say wins, but always comes out on top. Water can be nurturing, it can be gentle, or it can be harsh, depending on storms. We see flooding, we see tidal waves, we see tsunamis, and the planet is kicking up all sorts of things right now. Volcanoes, earthquakes. I mean, there's just a lot of energy at play. But we have the message of the truth. And so for each of us, this is going to be different. Like, we each have an internal truth. I just turned directly to that page. I opened up the book and opened up directly to it. So this message is important. And it is water, and it is in the beginning of Cancer season. So it's important what this is telling us. So, but remember to be truthful to yourself, to your emotions, to how you feel. Don't lie to yourself, don't lie to others, and embrace the changes that are happening, because that is part of your soul's truth. So the message here is be honest with yourself and speak from your heart. I had not read this before I said what I was saying. I mean, Spirit is very strong when it wants you to have a message. Find your truth. Listen for what is sincere and honest in others. One of the most difficult things to know is what's true for you and what isn't. Sometimes it takes sincere silence to find your inner voice of truth. But once you find it, let go of anything in your life that isn't authentic and share your truth with others. So that is beautiful energy. I'm sorry, I got one of my cats is wanting to be a part of this, and then and is just being a little aggravating right on the side of my reading, which is kind of what my cats tend to do during these readings. Sorry about any noise. Sometimes I think about putting some background noise on. Sometimes I think about putting them in a different room for my readings, but I actually really like their energy and what they bring to my flow. I lost my dog over a year ago now, and that's been a huge challenge in my life. But I still have my cats, and I believe that my whole life I've had cats, and I can't imagine never not having cats in my life, though they are troublesome sometimes. Anyway, so let's take a look at what our air message is. As we're just moving out of Gemini season, this should be interesting air energy. Air is interesting energy because it can be like water. It can be gentle cooling breeze, or it can be 40-mile-an-hour winds that will, blow all your patio furniture away and break windows if you're not careful. So we have miracles from air. This card showed up a couple readings ago. I don't think it was last time. I think it might have been at the spring equinox, but this is the miracle card, and it is lovely. And air is giving us the message of miracles. And when you have miracles speaking to you, anything can happen. Anything is possible. You can manifest this in your life. You can help others manifest this by your beliefs or your teaching or your process. I have very much have learned in the last year, especially dealing with my mom's health challenges, that miracles come at us in multiple ways. There's not necessarily an instant fix or an instant solving of a problem, but the fact that you're even on the pathway to health or solving a problem is the path to miracles, because you might not have had that choice if things had worked out differently. So a lot of this depends on how we look at miracles. Another thing that's interesting about this is we've had some stormy weather, not getting much rain here. We're still droughty, but stormy, but we've lot of double rainbows this year. I mean, almost every rainbow I've seen is a double rainbow, and you don't always see that. And so those are messages around us as well from the light spectrum, which of course air is doing that. So the message here in this card says, I want to make sure I'm reading the right page because I did that before. The storms are passing. The storms of the past are passing, and your dreams are coming true. tied, of course, to the miracles you're trying to manifest. No matter what has happened in the past, your future holds abounding miracles. Good fortune, celestial beauty, and inner divinity are expanding within you. Believe that your life is guided. Trust in the goodness of the universe. Trust is a hard thing. I actually kind of feel like our message last time was trust in this category. I do have it wrote down, but not anywhere near me. But miracles are abounding. They are coming for us. And it might not be the flash of like a financial windfall, like the lottery, like you expect. It might be a 50-cent raise at your job or your employment, or sorry, got one of my cats is just right here in the reading. This is one of my younger cats, Betty. Her name is Betty. When she was a baby, she kind of wiggled and walked like Betty Boop. And then as she's grown up in her kitten stage, she's kind of bad Betty sometimes, but she's fun. So let's take a look at the message from fire. But just to go back to miracles just for a second, believe in miracles. Believe that the universe is working for you and not against you. And sometimes this is really hard. And as I've said, I have learned this lesson a lot in the last year. You have to stop saying things or thinking things like, why is this happening to me? Why did this happen to my mom? Why did this happen to our lives? Say, why is this happening for me? Why is this happening for my mom? Why is this happening for our lives? What is this helping us break free from so we move forward into something better? And though it has been challenging, my family is much closer than we were prior to this. Like, we were always close, but like in a different way, like binding together to help her find her pathway to health. So okay, now let's take a look at fire season. I love fire. That'll be around the corner with Leo. But we got a month. We're just starting Cancer now, so let's enjoy that, even though it's not my favorite season. Anyway, fire. Message from fire is delight. Well, isn't this beautiful? We have a lovely bird sitting in the grass, and there are butterflies in the sky, or other birds, potentially. Lush flowers blooming. This kind of looks like a picture that expresses what I'm feeling summer should be right now. Birds singing, flowers blooming, grass is tall and waving in the wind. And it is delightful. When you just stop and take a look at something that's happening around you in nature, that is delightful. And delight is part of appreciating miracles. Everything is so aligned in these readings. I just can't help but say how much I believe that everything is connected, and how if you're watching this reading, there is something in it that is for you. If it's all 5 messages, or if it's just one specific message that applies to the season you're feeling, or your sun signs, or just picking a spot that feels right for you. If you're here, if you're watching this, there is something for you that you can benefit from in this message. And this message is coming from Spirit. I'm just channeling it through, bringing the message to you. So the book says this about this card. Delight is expanding in your life. Clap your hands with glee. Spend time with others. Go to a community gathering. Host a party. The joy that you experience will give birth to immense creativity, and your life will blossom. Share your happiness and elation with others, and it will grow by leaps and bounds. It's interesting, getting out has been harder for my mom, but we still try to do those things. And yesterday we went and spent time with her very dear friend, who happens to be my best friend's mom, and my best friend was there as well. And so it was just beautiful. The 4 of us just kind of reconnecting, sitting, visiting, bonding, just loving one another. And I am delighted that my mom could spend time with her friend, and I could spend time with my friend, and that we could all spend time together. And so that was delightful. And that is what we need to do. Reconnect with the people in your life. Find new people. Find a hobby, something that you've been wanting to do but haven't been able to up until this point. And find delight in the time and the effort and what you gain from that. Now, let's take a look at our message from Spirit. And I'm sorry, this is already running longer than I had hoped it was. I was wanting to keep it under 20 minutes, but I'm a talker, and Spirit knows that. So here we go. So our message for the summer solstice for Spirit is the Gateway card. Okay, so we definitely know that the solstice is a gateway during the year. All of these turns of the wheel are, but this is a very important in our year, our planetary year. The solstices and the equinox, those 4 points are entirely important. And we are moving through a gateway, and there is a lot of energy changing and shifting on our planet. There is a lot of energy changing with our sun. There are energies coming at our solar system from outside the solar system, not just the sun sending energies to us. And we are at a gateway. And I'm just going to say right now, it's up to us if we go through the gateway or not. We have a choice, and we always have a choice. Even if it doesn't feel like we do, we have a choice, we make a choice. And so I think about standing at a gateway and thinking about appreciating all the things that happened prior to you reaching this gateway, and all the wonderful things and the potential that lies on the other side of the gateway. And know that you have a choice moving through. But there are big things happening for us as a human collective, on this planet, for every creature and energy and element that lives on this planet. We are all at a gateway as well, much bigger than just our own individual lives, but in your individual life, you have a choice with that gateway. So the message here is: magic is afoot. Wondrous events are unfolding. Profound revelations and inner illuminations are close at hand. It is now much easier to manifest your dreams. So manifesting dreams is a part of miracles. It's a part of delight. It's a part of freedom and truth as well. This is an excellent time to take action on your visions for your future. A small amount of action now will generate much bigger results. Gateways to spirit are opening, and there are places where the veil is especially thin. Watch for those places. Watch for those feelings. Watch for those energies. All right. We had a beautiful reading. I want to kind of wrap this up because I know that your time is important. Everybody has lots to do in their lives. And so if you've made it to this point in this reading, thank you for being here with me. Tell me about yourself in the comments. I would love to know what your zodiac sign is. What element do you feel connected to? Did you feel connected to the reading entirely? Did you feel more drawn to one message or one card? Tell me if you like cats. Tell me if you like dogs. I mean, I love all animals. My house has felt empty since I lost my dog. She was very special to me, and I had her for almost 14 years. But I still have these cats, and they are keeping me full of energy and life. So appreciate these aspects of your life. Even the things that you had to leave behind or left before you were ready for them, and know that there is some divine plan for us all. And trusting that is hard sometimes, and surrendering to that is hard. I have a hard time with that. The surrender card didn't come up in this reading, nor did the card that flipped over when I was pre-shuffling. So I do believe that was a message just for me. If you have a deck of oracle cards around, or tarot cards, pull a card for yourself and just say, what is Spirit's divine direct message for me? This message is for the collective, and I hope that it fits your lives in some way, helps you bring clarity or forward motion. Anyways, everybody have a blessed summer solstice. Enjoy the light here in the Northern Hemisphere. You know, if you're down there in the Southern Hemisphere, know that your darkness is ending and you will soon be going towards the lighter period. But this is a wonderful time for shadow work if you're in the darkness in the Southern Hemisphere. Right now we are in the sun. We have plenty of work to do that doesn't involve shadow work for our souls and spirits and our alignment. So again, everybody enjoy your Litha holiday. It's a beautiful night for a bonfire if you can. Enjoy the summer solstice. I will see you with our next seasonal reading. But we're going to enjoy this season for right now. Thank you so much all. Thank you all so much for coming to this reading. Again, my name is Stacy. My channel is Simply Liminal. Still toying with a name change for my channel. May or may not happen. I don't know. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.